everybody. So today we're going to be working on perfecting our toe stand. There are a lot of variations to this pose, so we're going to work through a few of them. But what's wonderful about that is it's a great pose for strengthening through the feet, the ankles, and learning to control and balance our body through all the tiny little movements that we can use the muscles in our feet and ankles for. So please join me. We're going to start out on our back. And as we lay nice and flat, we're going to make sure we incorporate a lot of dynamic movement into our flow today to keep the body moving naturally and organically through functional ranges of motion while still performing various asanas. Let's begin by bringing our knees into the chest. Just a nice double kneaded chest stretch, hugging it nice and close. Beautiful. Inhale. I have my knees nice and wide. On my exhale, I'm going to slightly release those knees away from my body. On the inhale, I'm going to pull those knees close together and in through the center of my chest. Good. As I release, slightly let those legs come away. And then knees come in nice and tight. Exhaling into that stretch. Inhaling back and together. Exhaling, knees into the chest. Inhale. One last time, nice wide double kneaded chest stretch. Exhale. Wonderful job. Let's release the feet to the mat. Good. Right leg's going to go straight up, hamstring stretch like we do in so many other flows. Good. But then let's let that leg cross completely over. Legs are going to fall to the left. Eyes fall to the right. Back to center. Same thing. Uncross, knees pointing up, feet down, left leg goes up. Gentle hamstring stretch just briefly. Exhale, crossing over. Completely letting those legs fall to the right. Eyes can look through the left if that feels comfortable to you. Otherwise, you can keep that head upright, making sure that upper back is nice and flat. Good. Back to center. Wonderful work. Let's bring our hands right alongside of our body. Again, continuing with that dynamic movement. Inhale up into a bridge. Exhale down. Moving with your own breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. Again, this movement might be slightly faster or slower than me. I'm just moving with what feels comfortable with my own breath. You can move with what feels comfortable with your breath. Now, every time I do bridge and lift up, you can see I can wiggle my toes. I'm not pressing or gripping through the feet right now. I'm pushing through the heels and the inside of the balls of the feet. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. Knees are going to remain bent, but we're going to reach overhead. Deep breath in. And as I exhale, I'm going to do almost like a sit-up, like I'm reaching forward and up. Inhale back. Exhale up and forward. Inhale back. Exhale up and forward. Good. Now we're going to continue kind of that inhale, exhale movement. Let's go ahead and reach up. Inhale. But as we exhale, I'm going to let that left hand come back. Right hand reaches forward, touching down, exhaling all the way into that stretch. Eyes going over that left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Let's exhale the opposite direction. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Wonderful work. As we come forward, inhale all the way up. Let's go ahead, extend those legs out, flow through our center, reach for those toes. Seated forward fold. Good. On our inhale, much like a sun salutation A, let's inhale flat back. Hands on the shins, exhale down. Inhale, mimicking a root to rise, hands come out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center, staff pose. Notice my legs are engaged, toes are pulled back. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise from those seat bones. Exhale, hands at heart center. Continuing this pattern organically, move with your breath. One final time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands at heart center. Beautiful work. Let's go ahead, bring our left knee bent, cross it completely over our right. And we're going to take this knee in our hand and then allow our bodies to twist behind, holding that twist here. Good. And then we're going to twist across our body, which is more standard for this position. Left hand now coming back, hugging that knee in towards the chest or using that elbow to the right. So this way we get to go both directions. Perfect. Let's go ahead, come back to center. As I release this left leg, I am going to we call this rock the baby or cradling the baby, just a side to side rock, moving that femur that sockets in at the hip and pelvis. Good. Just back and forth, back and forth. Wonderful. I'll go ahead, bring it back to center, let it extend out. Bring that right knee into our chest, holding that leg here. Let's let that left hand come all the way around, reaching to the inside. Now that knee and hip here is kind of keeping my body from pushing it over. So I want to keep that knee pointing upright. Left hand coming back. Eyes can even grace over that left shoulder. And then as I come back to center, again, more traditionally, we're going to revolve that pose. Right hand comes back. Bring that arm around or on the outside of that right knee. Holding here. Good. Now let's add some abdominal work as we come back to center. Let's just cross this right leg over our left leg. So we've created this number 4, if you can see it. I'm going to come down onto my forearms, just work to bring that left leg up and down. Not resting it on the mat completely. Up and down, adjusting if you need to. Up and down. 2 more. Up and down. Last one. Up and down. Good. Now from here, we're going to just uncross, recross opposite side. Here we're using our hip flexors and our abdominal solar plexus region. Pushing that ground away, floating that leg and down. Breathing through this motion. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Wonderful work. Let's extend all the way up. From here, we're on our forearms. Let's push that ground away. And let's lift into reverse plank. So I'm going to have my heels on the mat. I'm going to push that ground away, lift high. Now, I like to keep my eyes looking forward, but if your cervical spine can handle it, you can always Let those ears and head drop back. Good, really squeezing through those glutes, lowering out of our reverse plank, feet coming to the midpoint of our mat. Let's push the ground away, release into a standing forward fold here. Walk it out ever so slightly. Good. And before I even get started, I'm going to stay on my mat, stepping long way, not super wide. And I'm going to just work on twisting my body a bit, and my lower back can get pretty tight, and so you may experience the same thing. Your twists might be small, and that's always fine, but it's a really beneficial stretch. If we're in a forward fold here, and I reach for, say, my right or my left shin or knee or ankle, and then reach across underneath with my opposite hand, we can kind of twist open here. Again, it doesn't have to be a full twist. Some people like this stretch and they can really open all the way up, but I just want you guys to kind of feel it out. Good. Bringing it back to center, same thing. I'm going to now bring left over right, right underneath, and twist. Good. Again, back to the side we started with, right over left. Releasing back, left over right. Finally get some release there. Back to center. I'm going to go ahead and walk those feet heel toe till they're in at the center of my mat. I'm going to inhale, flat back. And I'm going to exhale, hands down to the mat. I'm going to take my first toe stand by coming up on my toes, sitting almost on my heels. And here I'm facing the camera so you can see it from a front view, as I almost lose it. Now, toe stands are meant to be on the ball of your feet so that your feet are nice and straight. We're not letting those heels hover, okay? We're trying to get those knees up, hips touching those heels, balls of the feet being what ground us to the mat. Now you can see I can use my fingertips to aid and help myself, but as you start to feel comfortable, you can bring those hands open and out. You could bring the hands out in front, which actually kind of is the easier option for balancing. So if you know your balance is a little shaky, you can do this. You can also bring hands to heart center. We'll continue to show variations throughout the class. So these are all options. Now as I release from my toe stand, hands come back down to the mat. I control that release by dropping those heels down and leaning into that forward fold. Wonderful work. I'm going to go ahead and face once again the front of my mat. So you're welcome to join me. Let's inhale, flat back. Let's move through a standard vinyasa. As we exhale, hands come down to the mat, stepping or hopping back. Shift that weight forward, lower ourselves through our chaturanga into our upward dog. Exhaling into our down dog. Good. Taking time here to shift that weight ever so slightly. Good work. And when you feel ready and comfortable, let's exhale out of our down dog. Eyes lift. Inhale, step, hop, or walk front of our mat. Good. When you're ready, we can root to rise. Deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, Tadasana. Good work. Let's go ahead and take an Utkatasana. So I'm going to reach high, deep breath in, lengthen upright, and then exhale, sit back in my chair pose. Now chair pose can have those hands out or hands at heart center. Both are totally fine options. But I want us to sink from our Utkatasana into our toe stand. So as I hold this basically chair pose, I'm going to work to make that chair pose lower, lower, lower till I'm all the way down, and I can start to rise up onto those toes. Now I did that without any hands, but you guys are always welcome to reach those hands out and touch that ground. Here you can also see that in this toe stand, you see that direct line that we want, having the balls of the feet being underneath us, not sitting back with heels back like this. So we're always going for length through those feet. Good. Now we lowered all the way into the toe stand. The challenge is to exit still holding a toe stand as well. So we could rise up, 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 back to chair pose, back to hands open, hands at heart center, or root to rise. Good work. Let's exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step, hop, or jump back. Move through your vinyasa into down dog. Good work, guys. Using down dog as that recovery pose. Good. Eyes looking up. Let's step, hop, or walk to the front of the mat. Once again, forward fold. Root to rise. Deep breath in. Mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Deep breath in, reach high. One more sun salutation A as we exhale, forward fold. Inhale, nice flat back. Exhale, step, hop, or walk to the back of the mat, moving through that vinyasa. Exhaling into our down dog. Now, from this down dog, I want us to take a little bit of time to work on, again, twisting through that lower spine. Also, when we hold down dog longer, we're stretching through the calves and the Achilles and all that area we're using for our toe stands. So that's where we're going to spend a little more time here. Let's take our right hand, reach it underneath us, twisting open to the left. Good, back to center. Same thing, twisting open and to the right. Good, back to center. Let's add to that. Let's come into a high plank. Let's rotate up, left hand high, left hip high, side plank. But as we come down, rather than setting that hand down on the mat, let's push back into a down dog and reach across our body. Good, definitely challenging. Back to traditional down dog. You can see it on the opposite direction. High plank, side plank, right hand high. Good. Rather than just set that right hand down, we're going to reach it underneath and work. Adjust if you need to. Reach it underneath and open to the left. Let's do that one more time on each side. Down dog, high plank, side plank, left hand rises. On the exhale, down dog across our body with our left hand, twisting to the right. Down dog, high plank, side plank, right hand lifts. Good. Exhale, back to down dog, right hand crosses, and open and twist. Good. As we make our way back to down dog, let's drop to those knees, sit back on those heels, Balasana, child's pose, nice recovery. Wonderful work. As we go from our child's pose, let's slowly come up, half hero. We're going to once again revisit that toe stand, back of the mat, toes underneath us. Feet coming together if they're not there. Let's try some different variations as we ease into it. Maybe hands out wide. Maybe hands extended all the way overhead, which actually is a little more challenging. Beautiful. Wherever you're at in your toe stand, let's slowly ease ourselves back onto our heels and push up through our hips, forward fold. Good work. Hands come down to the mat. Shake out that head and neck. Inhale, flat back. Let's exhale, walk our way all the way forward. Good. And take a down dog. From this down dog, let's get our right heel nice and high, three-legged dog. Step it forward. Beautiful. Let's lift up all the way, warrior two. Wonderful. We're going to take triangle pose from here, straightening that front leg, reaching forward, dropping that right hand down, left hand goes high. Beautiful. Let's then return facing the front of our mat. Legs stay where they are. Let's take pyramid pose. Again, if you're using blocks, they can be on either side of your hand, or you can reach for that ground, or keep a hand on the knee, shin, or ankle. Good. Now from pyramid pose, our hands can come down, lifting that big heel, back heel, bending that front knee into runner's stretch. Let's slowly float that back leg up, hands coming to heart center, warrior three. Good. Bringing that warrior three to Ekapada Tadasana. Good. Hands extending up, dropping down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Dropping into our toe stand. Now from our toe stand, we're going to control our release, not back upright like we have in the past, but we're going to release our hands down, slowly release our heels to the mat, walk it out, and we're going to take boat pose, Shnavasana. Now from the Shnavasana, let's bring hands to heart center. Good. Let's extend right leg down, left knee in, and we're going to cross. Good. Back to center. Same thing. Left leg down, right knee stays in, cross, back to center. One more either side. Cross, back to center, cross, back to center. Beautiful. Feet come back down, hands come back underneath us. Right back to our toe stand, learning how we can incorporate these into our practice regularly. As we slowly rise up, heels come down, hands come down, forward fold, inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or hop back. You can take a vinyasa or you can go directly to that down dog if you need a little more recovery. Wonderful work. So at this point, same thing, left heel is going to go up. We're going to step it all the way forward, planting that foot, coming right into warrior two. So just so I can keep my body facing the camera, I'm going to flip. You can stay right where you are. We're going to go right into our triangle pose. Straighten that front knee, reaching forward, drop it down. Good. Slowly transitioning to pyramid pose, squaring those hips off, front of the mat, adjusting your stance if you need to, maybe to make it shorter. Again, hands can be on the mat or on the shin or knee. And then we'll allow our bodies coming out of that pyramid pose to start to transition to runners. Stretch, back heel coming up, front knee bending. Good. Now once we're in this runner stretch, we want to ground through that left foot because we're going to float that right leg, meaning we're controlling the lift through our left leg that's planted nice and firmly. Floating that back leg up, hands coming to heart center, chest staying parallel to that mat. And just like before, we'll transition out of our warrior three into our Ekapada Tadasana. Wonderful, reaching high. Going right into our Utkatasana chair pose. Beautiful work. And then dropping one final time all the way into our toe stand. Good. And then taking that toe stand back and down to the mat. This time, if you want to incorporate a full Navasana versus the half Navasana, you can always try. And we could even make it a little different by extending hands out wide and then pulling the knees into the chest. Again, this option can still be done with half boat. Open up wide, pulling in close, or that full boat like we showed the first time. Open up wide, pull it in close. Good. 2 more times. Wonderful work, guys. Perfect. Let's go ahead, drop those feet down to the mat. Bring yourselves all the way up, toe stand. But this time we're going to incorporate Utkatasana and toe stand together. So I'm going to rise up and stay on those toes till I get all the way into my chair pose. This is very challenging, I know, so some of us might not quite be ready for it. Lengthening all the way up, holding that toe stand and controlling that exit. Hands to heart center. Wonderful job, guys. Let's open to mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and out. Two more breaths here. Wonderful job. Last final breath. From here, as we release to our mat, we're going to find our meditative pose facing the camera. I want to do 5 breaths here. This is going to be our upright meditative Shavasana. Wherever you're at, pay attention to how your body feels. Here outdoors, I can feel the crisp, cool air. I can feel just a teeny sprinkling of rain. I can feel my body is relaxed and open. And I can tell that my mind is quiet. So for your 5 breaths, do that kind of mental check, physical check, emotional check of your body. Wonderful job, everyone. Let's bring our hands to heart center. If your eyes have been closed, you can open them. Thank you so much for joining me today for a shortened flow that includes a tutorial regarding a toe stand asana. Thank you so much. As always, the light in me honors and sees the light that is in you. Namaste.